6 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Detroit Lions taking on the Cincinnati Bengals.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with the Cincinnati Bengals. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories. Meanwhile, for the Bengals here, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should, and what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Here come the Bengals now to take over. And they'll be let out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback.
Well, he did go 2-2 in the last ball game. Well, actually, he went 2-2-1, with the one being the victory.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line there. But wasn't it funny at practice? He threw one when we were watching, threw an interception, and the defense got on him a little bit, good-naturedly. But they're letting him know, you got to cut down those interceptions. We can't bail you out all the time.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. But as you said, they got the win in that effort last week. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. Mixon with a first down and more. And he'll finally be taken down just shy of midfield. A big pick up there on the run. Opening quarter, his opening carry of the game, and I think they'll give it to him a few more times, as they should.
You're exactly right about that. With that type of a run, you want to repeat it many times until they show signs of stopping it. I think he did his visualization exercise before this one, and they're paying off.
The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Now Joe Mixon. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Now, this defense for the Lions, they were very good a week ago in that win over Minnesota.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Dumps it off to Mixon. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 13.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
So on 4th down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
Roughing kicker, defense.
Oh, what is that?
That hurts. If it was running into the kicker, wouldn't be a first down. Roughing, it is a first.
And just think about the differences between the two. Running into the kicker almost feels inadvertent, just a small tap, so to speak. But when you rough him, usually bodies are hitting the ground and flying all different places. And the difference is 5 yards or 15. And in this case, that's a big play.
47 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
This is Mixon. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. 16 yards there. 2 straight plays of 16 yards and another first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
They'll give it to Mixon. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. We'll check on his status when we get back. Showed off the footwork, but still corralled shy of the 5 at the 6. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And that'll be caught. Touchdown, Bengals. It's Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bengals are going to take a first-quarter lead. Looking sharp on that first drive. These guys, of course, coming off back-to-back victories, and you see that kind of advancing into this game, don't you?
You certainly do, and when you have a team that doesn't get too full of itself, even though they've won 2 games in a row, you get the end result that we saw there, that nice opening drive, because they're sharp, they're focused, and they're locked into everything that they're doing.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Well, they had that great, long, methodical drive to put it in the end zone. Then they tried to bite off a little more and get 8 points. Instead, they're sitting at 6.
But didn't that feel like a decision that they made on Tuesday?
Yeah. Well, you usually say that's what they do, right?
Right. That's the best one. The best ones do that. They take the emotion out of it. That felt like that was scripted. Hey, if we score in the opening drive, we're going to go for 2 and try and really gain an advantage.
No return here for QT, so this will come out to the 25. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by their big mobile quarterback. He can throw it, he can run it, Colin Kaepernick.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an
And
interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. The numbers for Williams a week ago: 5 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown.
And he was able to get open there, but that's not always easy against this bunch defensively. We are deep enough into the season where numbers count. This is #1 rated defense in the NFL. He'll have a tough time.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Kaepernick to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but if the ball's in the air, they treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
And now the offense for the Bengals being called back out as they'll try to add on 2 more. They'll try and throw for it. On the move to his left. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. So now, Charles, 2 touchdowns, 2 tries at 2-point conversions, and both fail.
And you want to say, let's go ahead and run the kicker out there from now on. But the problem is you're chasing points at this stage. So now you've got to dial up more 2-point conversions and hope you're successful from here on out.
No return here for QT, so this will come out to the 25. Now Colin Kaepernick and the offense heading back out onto the field. And now, Charles, this becomes a pretty important second drive for them. They're already down a pair of scores here in the first quarter.
As you noted, they're down 2 scores, and to me, they're down a possession or a service break if this were tennis, right? Because they just gave one up. Only their second drive now. Run their offense, try and get back into the game that way, and then look for some help from their defense.
Trying to forget about that pick 6 last time out. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Kaepernick now to throw. He'll get this one to the Golden Domer, St. Brown. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Now Kaepernick. And this is going to be incomplete.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things, get back to what works.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you score points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Start of the second quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football. And they've got it with a 1st and 10. A handoff to Mixon. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Looking to throw. Harrison forced out to his left. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. And he'll go down at the 28. 74 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And down inside the 15 he goes. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Here's a give to Mixon. And he's taken down at the
Of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
Mixon. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Joe Mixon, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals are able to grow their lead. Sometimes a group that gets overlooked, certainly, the offensive line. Right there, they really helped with that score.
Didn't they tell us in our meeting that when we score touchdowns running the ball, that means the offensive line actually scored first by moving people back beyond the end zone? We saw evidence of that on that play.
Zach Taylor's made the decision. They'll go for 2 here. They'll look to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Tough there. Good pass. Hit the hands. He just couldn't bring it in.
And every receiver's coach everywhere. Seeing that play, focus, focus, focus. Watch it all the way in and tuck it away.
No return here for QT, so this will come out to the 25. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? And turnover, you just noted it on the first drive.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn it into first downs and hopefully points.
He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. Sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. 2 of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
And I think the ball's out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain. Can almost see inside his face mask there the look of relief. He coughed it up, but it goes out of bounds. They keep it.
Someone carrying around the lucky horseshoe, aren't they? If I were him, I'd go out and play the lottery after that one. A very fortunate man.
And they're operating in plus territory here. They're thinking points. Definitely don't want to lose the football at this juncture. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. 8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. On the handoff, this is Swift. And he will get enough for a first down, and that will lead us to the 2-minute warning. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now here's a throw that's complete. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a
touchdown. Tyrell Williams, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead. Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that'll make this now an 11-point deficit. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Brandon Wilson now from his end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. And we checked the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning.
A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8.
As a rookie quarterback, that's exactly how you endear yourself to your teammates. Give it up for the cause. It's also how you end up on the training table, too.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. Coach doesn't like it. Teammates love it. Where do you fall on it?
Well, I fall on wanting to endear yourself to your teammates, but pick your spots. Be smart about it. They need you for the full season.
Yeah, the rookie's going to learn as he goes. That's taken in by Higgins. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
And Tyler Boyd's one of those guys that seems to fly under the radar, but he finds ways to get open, and he has nice hands. He's averaged right around 80 catches a year his last 3 seasons.
That's complete to the tight end Sample. 7 yards to pick up there. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. 2nd and 3 from the 9. Again, he'll drop to throw. And he's got it. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon as the first half is winding down. And the Bengals will extend their lead here just before halftime. Zach Taylor's made the decision. They'll go for 2 here. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. So they go with a pass, and it works there on the 2-point try. Charles, just in general, what are your thoughts, passing versus running on 2-point conversion? Situational?
It is situational, and you have to know your team. What is your strength? Because so many people think you have to throw the ball in a 2-point conversion, but the stats will tell you that running it is about as proficient. So know your team and go to your strength.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And we'll see what they opt to do with just 14 seconds remaining until intermission. And this will wind up a Lions first down as he's got this up to the 35-yard line. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. On first down, Kaepernick. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. 5 yards remain on 2nd down. To throw, Kaepernick. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We start up in Maryland, a good one in the AFC, with the LA Chargers taking on Baltimore. And it's the Ravens who have the lead as they play the 2nd quarter. Lamar Jackson with...
And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the 2nd half. It'll be Lions football to start the 2nd half, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. No return here for QT, so this will come out to the 25. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
On second down, Swift. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 46 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times. They fake the give. Now Kaepernick. He's going to air one out. And it'll be incomplete. Good job staying with him defensively. And it'll bring up second down. On second down, Swift. They find some open field here. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. What makes a draw play like that successful?
Well, we did see where he made the first wave miss, and that was a big part of it. But a lot of it is just being actors back there, making the defense think it's going to be a pass.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Here's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. On second down now, Swift. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Swift. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31. This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. Working from the gun, it's Kaepernick. And that's out to the flat for Swift. And they will rally and stop him short of the 1st down. They get him to the ground at the 26. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. On now is Seibert for the Lion field goal. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. Seibert's kick is good. And that'll get the deficit back to 16. So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shave 3 points off the lead.
Well, something's better than nothing, all right? They didn't play particularly well in the first half, but they definitely need him to step on the accelerator now and play a whole lot better.
And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. So here are the Bengals set to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Again, it's Mixon.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Rolling to his left. Throw left side complete. That's Boyd. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. Mixon with a 1st down carry. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
And that one not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this third quarter of play. Back now at Ford Field. It's the Bengals in possession of the football and in possession of the lead as well as we start the fourth.
Open man, it's complete to Higgins. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
They go play action here on first down. Escaping the pressure right.
There's the rookie from LSU. It's Jamar Chase.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front seven reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
Sliding out of the pocket to Mixon on the check down. It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll be second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
133 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So give him the yardage on the pass and half the distance to the goal line.
Because they're inside the 30, so now you don't march off the full 15, right? You have half the distance to the goal. In any event, that's precious real estate given up.
And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. 5 yards, a good run there, and now second and goal.
P-Ryan will take this one in. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Well, I've heard you use the term put-away drive, and that right there seemed like the definition of a put-away drive.
Yeah, it certainly just pops right up out of the book, doesn't it? Because up 2 scores already, just wanted to possess the football, keep converting and picking up first downs, and if the drive ends in 3 points, that's terrific. If it ends in a touchdown, fantastic.
So now the Bengals offense will stay out there as they'll decide to go for 2. Back to throw. Harrison. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the fourth. So they're able to throw it in for the 2-point conversion. Sometimes that can be a risky play, but they got it.
Yeah, you always have to be careful here because if you do get it intercepted, it's returned by the defense. That's 2 points for them, but he identified an open target and put it right on him.
No return here for QT, so this will come out to the 25.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Shotgun snap now for Kaepernick.
That's into a crowd and intercepted.
Picked off near the 26. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. They'll run on first down. Mixon. He can't get him down. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And they'll try to squeeze in one more play here before the 2-minute warning. Looking to throw. Harrison. And it's caught. Down at the 2. Broke through first contact, but ultimately stopped shy of the goal line. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd and goal now as they look to add a few. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Evan McPherson now for the PAT.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. No return here for QT, so this will come out to the 25.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now. And if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. On first down, Mixon. Heck of a move, but only able to work his way down near the 23. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
He will find his man Chase complete.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. That one looks like he'll throw here. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. We saw so much of this last year at the college level, but there you go. His first rushing touchdown as an NFL quarterback.
And with the speed he has, we certainly know it won't be his last because that's something that aided him very well, as you mentioned, at the college level. It's something he's going to carry over, and they'll make it a big part of their offense.
From the gun, Harrison. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on
on here in the fourth.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there, and sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
One final try for Kaepernick. We've seen this before. And he's going to go down as time has now run out on this game. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Bengals, their good start continues as they get their record up to 4-2. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Meanwhile, for Detroit, they can't quite seem to turn things around as they fall into 2-4 now on the year. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to L.A. to take on the Rams. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.